January 17th, 1942. 4:30 in the morning. Minus 38 degrees Celsius. I know this because Dmitri checked the thermometer outside our bunker before his hands stopped working. That was 3 hours ago. He's still flexing his fingers by the stove, trying to feel them again, whispering numbers like a prayer. 38 below. The kind of cold that makes your teeth ache, makes your lungs burn with every breath, makes you wonder if freezing might be kinder than starving. The city doesn't sleep anymore. It just waits. I can hear it waiting now, in the silence between artillery shells. Distant booms rolling across the frozen Neva like thunder that forgot how to stop. Somewhere out there, the Germans are firing again. They do it every morning, like clockwork, like they're reminding us they're still here, still patient, still choking the life out of Leningrad one day at a time. The shells land in the Kirov district mostly. I picture the buildings there, the ones still standing, shuddering with each impact. I picture the people inside those buildings, if there are any left, huddled in basements with their ration cards clutched like scripture. 125 grams of bread per day. That's what the cards promise now. 4 slices, if you're generous with the cutting. Half sawdust, half hope. I ate my ration 6 hours ago. I can still taste it. Or maybe I'm just remembering what taste used to feel like. The bunker smells like unwashed men and burning wood and something else. Something sweet and rotten that I don't want to think about. There are 9 of us crammed in here. Part of the 21st NKVD Rifle Division, reassigned to city defense after our unit got chewed up at Mumga. We're not soldiers anymore, not really. We're scarecrows in uniform, held together by wool and duty, and the animal need to see tomorrow. Komarov is asleep in the corner, his face gray, his breathing shallow. Petrov is cleaning his rifle for the 3rd time tonight, even though there's no oil left, even though his hands shake so badly he dropped the bolt twice. And Dmitri is still flexing his fingers, still counting. 38, he mutters. 38 below. We know, I tell him, colder than yesterday. We know. He looks at me, and his eyes are holes. How much colder can it get? I don't answer. None of us do, because we all know it can get colder. It will get colder. And when spring finally comes, if spring comes, we'll dig through the snow and find the ones who didn't make it, frozen mid-step like statues, like warnings. Outside, the wind picks up. It screams through the broken windows of the building across the street, through the skeleton frames of burned-out apartments, through the cracks in our bunker walls. It carries the smell of smoke and ash and something chemical, something that makes my eyes water. The Germans love their incendiaries. They drop them at night, watch the fires bloom like flowers, watch us scramble to put them out before the whole block goes up. Last week, they hit a warehouse on Ligovsky Prospect. We thought it was ammunition at first, the way it exploded. But it wasn't. It was food. 3 months of rations, gone in 20 minutes. I watched people run into the flames trying to save what they could. Some of them didn't come out. That's what hunger does. Makes you brave and stupid in equal measure. The radio crackles in the corner. Static, then a voice, thin and distant like it's coming from another world. All units stand by. Repeat, all units stand by. Convoy operation commencing at 0500 hours. Road of Life is active. Acknowledge. Petrov stops cleaning his rifle. Komarov sits up, blinking. Dmitri finally stops flexing his fingers. Road of Life, someone whispers. Lake Ladoga, the only supply line left. 18 miles of frozen water between us and the mainland, between starvation and survival. The trucks run it every night, loaded with bread and ammunition, racing across the ice before the Germans can spot them, before the ice can crack, before the cold can kill the drivers. More than half don't make it back. The lake is full of trucks now, sunk through weak spots, drivers still frozen at the wheel 30 feet below the surface. But the convoys keep running, because if they stop, Leningrad dies. I reach for my rifle. It's cold enough to burn my palm. They're sending us out, I say. Of course they are, Petrov mutters. He's already strapping on his gear, movements automatic, mechanical. Someone has to make sure the bread gets through. Someone has to make sure the Germans don't blow it to hell, Dmitri adds. He's pulling on his coat, the one with the holes in the sleeves, the one that used to belong to Volkov before Volkov stopped needing it. I think about Anya, my sister. 14 years old, thin as wire, lying in our apartment on Nevsky Prospect with a fever that won't break. She got her ration yesterday, and I gave her half of mine, and she looked at me like I'd committed a crime. "You need it more," she said. "You're the one fighting." But I'm not fighting. Not really. I'm just surviving. We all are. Fighting means you have an enemy you can shoot, an objective you can take, a victory you can claim. This isn't fighting. This is drowning in slow motion. The radio crackles again. Unit 7-4 report to staging point. Convoy escort duty, departure in 30 minutes. That's us. Unit 7-4. 9 men who should be dead already. Komarov stands, pulling on his pack. 30 minutes, he says. Just enough time to freeze on the way there. Petrov laughs, a dry bark with no humor in it. Better than starving. Is it? Dmitri asks. No one answers. I check my rifle one more time. Bolt action, clean enough, frozen enough. 5 rounds in the magazine. I used to carry 30. But ammunition is another ration now, carefully measured, carefully hoarded. 5 rounds. I wonder if that's enough to protect a convoy. I wonder if it's enough to protect myself. I wonder if it matters. Outside, the artillery booms again, closer this time. The walls shudder. Dust falls from the ceiling like snow. And in the spaces between the booms, I hear it. The thing no one talks about. The silence. Not the absence of sound, but the presence of emptiness. The city breathing its last, slow and shallow and wet. Hunger changes a man before bullets ever do. I learned that 2 months ago, when I saw a woman fight a dog over a dead pigeon. I learned it again last week, when I found a frozen corpse on Nevsky and checked its pockets before I reported it. I learn it every morning when I wake up and realize I'm disappointed to still be alive, because being alive means being hungry. But tonight, I have a job. Protect the convoy. Bring the bread home. Keep Anya alive one more day. I sling my rifle over my shoulder and follow the others into the cold. The wind hits like a fist. My lungs seize. My eyes water and freeze at the corners. And somewhere out on Lake Ladoga, trucks are already moving, headlights off, engines straining, drivers praying to gods they stopped believing in months ago. We step into the street, into the darkness, into the waiting. And the city holds its breath. The staging point is a nightmare dressed as salvation. 12 trucks lined up like metal coffins on runners, engines coughing black smoke into air so cold it falls like ash. Each one loaded with crates marked in Cyrillic I can barely read through the frost on my eyelashes. Bread, ammunition, medicine, the holy trinity of survival, packed tight enough to sink through ice if the drivers aren't careful. If the lake decides tonight is the night it stops pretending to be solid ground. There are soldiers everywhere, not just our unit. The 86th, the 44th, scattered remnants of the 291st. Maybe 60 men total, maybe less. all of us gathered around fires burning in oil drums, stamping our feet, blowing into our hands, trying to remember what warmth feels like. I recognize some faces. Most I don't. In Leningrad, faces disappear faster than names. A lieutenant I've never seen before stands on the running board of the lead truck. Young, too young. His coat is clean, which means he's new, which means he doesn't understand yet that clean things don't survive here. "Listen up," he shouts, and his voice cracks from the cold. "Convoy departs in 10 minutes. Route is standard. 18 miles across Ladoga. Supply dump on the eastern shore. Turn around before dawn. German reconnaissance has been light this week, but that doesn't mean safe. Stay alert. Stay mobile. Any truck that breaks down gets stripped and abandoned. Any man who can't keep up gets left behind. Understood." No one answers. We've heard this speech before. We know how it ends. "Understood?" He shouts again. "Yes, sir," someone mutters. The rest of us just stare. The lieutenant jumps down, disappears into the cab of the lead truck. Engines rev higher. Black smoke thickens. And I feel it then. The thing that's been crawling up my spine since we left the bunker. The certainty that something is wrong. Not wrong like hunger or cold or fear. Wrong like a held breath. Wrong like the second before a shell hits. "You feel that?" Dmitri asks beside me. "Feel what?" "That." He tilts his head, listening. The quiet. He's right. The artillery stopped. I don't know when, but it did. The booms that have been background noise for 9 months, the rhythm we've learned to sleep through, eat through, die through, they're gone. And in their place, there's nothing. Just wind, just engines, just the creak of ice somewhere out on the lake. "Maybe they're done for the night," Petrov says, but his voice has no conviction. "Germans are never done," Komarov mutters. A whistle blows. Sharp, piercing, the kind that makes your teeth ache. The convoy lurches forward, trucks grinding into motion, treads biting frozen ground, headlights still dark because light is a target. Light is death. Our unit scrambles to follow, boots slipping on ice, rifles rattling, breath streaming behind us like smoke. We're supposed to flank the convoy, half on the north side, half on the south, spaced out in case of ambush. I end up on the north side with Dmitri and 4 others whose names I should know, but don't. We jog to keep pace, and jogging burns calories I don't have. And every step feels like theft from tomorrow's energy. But stopping means freezing, and freezing means staying. The city falls away behind us. Buildings give way to ruins. Ruins give way to emptiness. And then we're on the lake. The ice groans. It's a sound I'll never forget, no matter how long I live, no matter how much vodka I pour into the memory. A deep, resonant moan, like the earth splitting, like something ancient waking up and realizing it's angry. The trucks spread out, drivers knowing instinctively not to bunch up, not to put too much weight in one place. But we have to stay close. Close enough to protect them. Close enough to die with them if the ice opens up. I look down. The surface is white, but not clean white. Gray white. Streaked with pressure cracks that spiderweb out in every direction, some thin as hair, some wide enough to see black water underneath. I step over one, then another. Then I stop counting because there are too many, because the whole lake is a web of cracks, a fracture waiting to become a break. "Keep moving," someone shouts. I keep moving. The wind is worse out here. No buildings to block it, no walls to hide behind. It comes straight off the Ural Mountains, across the plains, across the frozen lake, and it hits like artillery, like fists. like the breath of something that wants us dead. My face goes numb in seconds. My fingers inside my gloves stop responding. And still we walk, jog, stumble forward, because the convoy doesn't stop, because stopping is dying. 10 minutes in, I hear the first crack. Not ice, something else. A snap, high-pitched and sharp, followed by a wet thud. One of the men ahead of me drops. Just drops, no warning, no scream, folding into the ice like his strings got cut. "Sniper!" Dmitri screams. And then the world accelerates. Another crack, another body. The trucks gun their engines, lurching forward, treads spitting ice. Men scatter, diving for cover that doesn't exist, because the lake is flat, because there's nowhere to hide. I throw myself down, feel the impact jar through my chest, taste blood where I bit my tongue. My rifle slides forward. I grab it, pull it close, and scan the darkness. Where is he shooting from? Another crack, this one closer. A chunk of ice explodes 2 meters to my left, and I see it then, the muzzle flash. Distant, faint. Northwest shore, maybe half a kilometer out. A single shooter with a rifle and patience, and a scope that lets him see us, even if we can't see him. "Return fire," someone screams, but it's pointless. We can't see him. We don't have the range. And every second we stay still, he gets another shot. The trucks are pulling away now, engines roaring, desperate to get clear of the kill zone. And we're supposed to follow. We're supposed to protect them. But men are dying, bleeding out onto white ice that turns red and then black as the blood freezes. And I don't know if running means survival or cowardice. Dmitri is beside me, breathing hard, face pressed into the ice. "We have to move," he gasps. "Where?" "Anywhere but here." Another crack. The truck ahead of us shudders. I hear the pop of a tire, see the vehicle slew sideways, treads losing grip. It fishtails, slides, and for one terrible second I think it's going over, through the ice, gone. But the driver recovers, straightens out, keeps moving. And then I hear it. Not a crack, not a snap. A roar. Engines? Multiple. Heavy. Coming from the west. I lift my head just enough to see, and my stomach drops through the ice. Headlights, dozens of them, cutting through the darkness like knives. German half-tracks, armored cars, moving fast across the ice, flanking the convoy, closing the distance. This isn't a sniper. This is an ambush. "Contact!" I scream. "Contact west! Armor incoming!" The radio crackles somewhere. Orders shouted. Panic spreading like fire. The convoy guns forward, but they can't outrun armor, not on ice, not loaded with cargo. And we can't stop them. We have rifles. They have machine guns. The first half-track opens fire. Tracer rounds scream across the ice, red and gold and impossibly fast. They punch through a truck's cargo bay, shred canvas, spark off metal. Men scatter. Some fire back. Most just run. I run. Not away from the convoy, toward it. Because running away means dying alone. At least near the trucks, there's cover. At least near the trucks, there's a chance. My lungs burn, my legs scream. The ice beneath me cracks with every step, spiderwebs spreading, and I wonder if I'm about to fall through, if the lake is finally done pretending. But I keep running, because stopping is dying. And I promised Anya I'd come home. I reach the truck as the world becomes noise. Not sound, noise. The kind that erases thought, that turns your brain into static, that makes you an animal operating on instinct because there's nothing else left. Machine gun fire hammers the air, a continuous ripping scream that never stops, never breathes. Bullets spark off metal, punch through canvas, whine past my head so close I feel the displacement, the little vacuum of air they leave behind. I slam into the truck's side, press myself flat against frozen steel, and my hands are shaking so badly I can't reload, even though I haven't fired yet. Someone is screaming. I don't know who. Maybe everyone. Maybe me. The ice beneath us cracks like breaking bones. I risk a look around the truck's edge. The German half-tracks are closer now, maybe 200 meters, fanned out in a loose arc, cutting off any retreat to the western shore. 3 of them, maybe 4. Each one spitting fire from mounted MG-34s, tracer rounds drawing red lines across the dark, stitching patterns through the convoy. One of our trucks is already dead, cab shredded, driver slumped over the wheel with half his head gone. Another is burning, rear axle blown, cargo spilling out onto the ice. Bread crates, split open, loaves scattered like bodies. Men are dying for bread, again. Get down! Dmitri slams into me from behind, drives me to the ice. A burst of fire rakes the spot where I was standing, punches through the truck's side panel, exits the other side in a shower of sparks. I taste blood. I bit my tongue. Or maybe I didn't, and this is just what fear tastes like now. The truck lurches forward. The driver is still alive, still trying, still gunning the engine, even though one tire is flat and the treads are screaming. We scramble to stay with it, using it as a shield, boots slipping on ice that's wet now, slick with something I don't want to identify. The half-tracks pace us, matching speed, firing in controlled bursts. They're not trying to destroy the trucks. They're trying to stop them, disable them, take the supplies intact. That's when I understand. This isn't about killing us. This is about starving us. The Germans know they don't have to take Leningrad. They just have to wait. And convoys like this are the only thing keeping the waiting from turning into dying. We have to stop them. Petrov appears beside me, face streaked with ice and soot, rifle up, firing blindly toward the half-tracks. His shots go wide. Of course they do. We can't hit moving armor with bolt-action rifles at 200 meters. We can barely hit stationary targets at 50. But we fire anyway. Because not firing means accepting we're already dead. I work the bolt, chamber around, find a target. One of the half-tracks. The gunner. A shadow behind a muzzle flash. I lead him, account for wind that doesn't exist, because my hands are too cold to feel anything, and squeeze. The rifle kicks. The sound is sharp and small compared to the machine guns, like a child shouting in a thunderstorm. I don't know if I hit him. The half-track keeps firing. Fall back, someone screams. Fall back to the... The ice explodes. Not from gunfire, from weight, from stress, from 9 months of trucks and tanks and corpses piling up, from temperature shifts and pressure cracks and the slow, patient work of entropy. A section of lake maybe 10 meters across just gives up, collapses inward with a sound like the earth breaking, and the burning truck slides sideways, tips, goes through. It happens so fast I barely process it. 1 second there's a truck, the next there's a hole. Black water boiling up, steam rising in clouds, and the truck sinking nose first, cargo spilling out, crates floating for a moment before they get dragged under by the weight of the chassis. And men. 3 of them, clinging to the truck's sides, screaming, going down. I run toward them without thinking. Stupid, suicidal. But instinct doesn't care about survival. Instinct cares about the man drowning 3 meters away. Dmitri grabs my coat, yanks me back. You can't. They're already dead. He's right. I know he's right. The water is so cold it stops your heart in seconds, locks your muscles, fills your lungs before you can scream. I've seen it before. We all have. The lake doesn't give people back. But I watch anyway. I watch the men thrash. I watch them go under. I watch the hole swallow the truck, swallow the bread, swallow everything. and then freeze over again, ice forming across the surface like a scab, like the lake is healing itself, erasing the evidence. 3 men, gone. Just like that. And the half-tracks keep firing. I turn away from the hole because looking at it won't bring them back. Because the convoy is still moving. Because we're still dying. The remaining trucks are spreading out now, drivers panicking, taking different routes, hoping to split the German fire. It's working. Sort of. The half-tracks can't target all of them at once. But it also means we can't defend all of them. Our unit is scattered across 100 meters of ice, each man pressed behind whatever cover he can find. Cargo crates, dead trucks, bodies. I end up behind a pile of ammunition boxes someone dumped. It's not much. Wooden crates 1/2 meter high. But it's something. Dmitri is beside me. Komarov is 10 meters to my left, firing methodically, working his bolt like a metronome. And beyond him, through the smoke and tracer fire and steam rising from the hole, I see the young lieutenant, the one with the clean coat. He's standing, just standing, in the open, gun at his side, staring at the half-tracks like he can't understand why they're shooting at him. "Get down!" I scream. He doesn't move. The burst hits him center mass. 5 rounds, maybe 6. His chest comes apart. He drops like someone cut his strings, and his clean coat isn't clean anymore. I turn away, close my eyes, breathe through my nose because my mouth tastes like copper. When I open them again, the world is different. Smaller, sharper. Everything narrows to what I can control. Load, aim, fire, load, aim, fire. The machine becomes the man. The man becomes the machine. It's the only way to survive this. Turn off the part that feels. Turn off the part that thinks. Just act. But hunger doesn't turn off. I fire twice more and my vision goes gray at the edges. Tunnels. I blink hard trying to clear it. But it doesn't clear. My hands are shaking worse now. Not from cold, from exhaustion. From 9 months of starvation compressed into 9 seconds of chaos. My body is eating itself, burning muscle for fuel, burning what's left of me to keep the machine running. I miss the next shot by a meter. "Yuri!" Dmitri shakes my shoulder. "Stay with me." I'm fine. "You're not, you're..." An explosion cuts him off. Not gunfire, something bigger. I look up and see smoke billowing from one of the half-tracks. Its front end is gone, shredded, treads blown off. Someone hit it with something, a grenade, an AT rifle. I don't know. But it stopped, dead. The gunner is hanging out of the turret, motionless. A cheer goes up from somewhere, weak, hoarse, but a cheer. The other half-tracks hesitate. I see it in the way they slow, the way their fire becomes less focused. They didn't expect resistance. They expected us to fold, to run, to die quietly like good little starving Russians. But we're not dead yet. "Push them!" someone screams. Komarov. He's on his feet, moving forward, firing as he goes. Others follow. 5 men, 10. A ragged line of scarecrows with rifles, advancing across the ice like we have any right to be alive. I follow because I don't know what else to do. The half-tracks reverse. Slowly at first, then faster. Their fire becomes sporadic, defensive. One of them fishtails, treads losing grip on ice slick with blood and oil. It recovers. But the hesitation is there. They're retreating. We're winning. No, we're surviving. There's a difference. The convoy keeps moving. 4 trucks left, maybe 5. Engines roaring, treads grinding, drivers hunched over wheels like they're praying. And maybe they are. Maybe we all are. Maybe prayer is just another word for the animal need to see sunrise. The half-tracks fade into the darkness. Their muzzle flashes grow distant, then disappear entirely. The lake falls quiet, not silent, quiet. The wind still howls, the ice still groans, but the bullets stop. The screaming stops. And in the space where chaos used to be, there's only cold. I collapse behind the ammunition crates. My legs give out. Just stop working. I sit hard on the ice, rifle across my lap, breath coming in gasps that burn my lungs. Around me, other men are doing the same. Dropping, sitting, lying down. Some are wounded. Some are just exhausted. Some are staring at nothing, eyes wide, seeing things that aren't there. Dmitri slides down beside me. His face is gray. How many? He asks. How many what? How many didn't make it? I look around, count shapes, bodies on the ice, some still moving, most not. I count 12, maybe 15, out of 60. Too many, I say. He nods. Doesn't ask for a number. Numbers don't matter. Dead is dead. Somewhere ahead, the convoy regroups. Trucks slowing, forming up, waiting for orders that won't come because the officer giving orders is dead. I should move, should get up, should help. But my body won't respond. It's used everything it has. There's nothing left. We did it, Dmitri says quietly. Did what? Survived. I look at him, at his hollow eyes, at the way his hands won't stop shaking, at the blood on his coat that isn't his. Yeah, I say, we survived. But survival feels like betrayal. The men in the water didn't survive. The lieutenant didn't survive. The 12 or 15 bodies scattered across the ice didn't survive. They did their jobs. They followed orders. And they died doing it. And I'm still here, still breathing, still hungry. The wind picks up. It carries the smell of burnt metal and gunpowder and something sweet that makes my stomach turn. I look toward the hole in the ice, the one that swallowed the truck and the men and the bread. It's frozen over now, smooth, like it never happened, like the lake is pretending. But I'll remember. We all will. Because that's the worst part of surviving. You remember everything. We move again because staying means freezing. 10 minutes after the half-tracks disappear, someone gets the convoy organized. Not an officer. Officers are dead. Just a sergeant whose name I don't know, whose face is too tired to read, who walks between the trucks counting cargo, counting men, counting losses. He doesn't speak much, just points. You, there. You, here. And we follow because following is easier than thinking. 4 trucks remain. One is limping on a blown tire, treads grinding, but it's moving. The others are damaged but functional. Cargo is redistributed. Bodies are left behind. There's no time for burial, no energy for ceremony. We take their ammunition, their rations if they have any, their coats if ours are worse. Then we keep moving. The lake stretches ahead of us. Endless. Dark. The eastern shore is still 10 miles away, maybe more. I've lost track. Time doesn't work right out here. Minutes feel like hours. Hours collapse into seconds. All that matters is the next step. Then the next. Then the next. My legs are numb from the knees down. I can't feel my feet anymore. I'm walking on stumps, on faith, on the memory of what walking used to be. Beside me, Dmitri is worse. He's limping, favoring his left side, breathing in short gasps that steam in the air like smoke signals. I want to ask if he's hurt, but asking means stopping, and stopping means dying. So I don't ask. Komarov is still with us. So is Petrov. The others from our unit, the ones whose names I never learned, are gone. Dead or scattered or swallowed by the lake. We're down to 4. 4 out of 9. And we've only been on the ice for 2 hours. How much farther? Petrov asks. His voice is hoarse, barely audible over the wind. Far, the sergeant says without turning around. How far is far? Far enough. Petrov laughs. It's an ugly sound. Cracked, like glass breaking. We're all going to die out here. Maybe, the sergeant says, but not yet. We walk in silence after that. There's nothing left to say. The wind does the talking now, screaming across the ice, carrying voices that aren't there, words that dissolve before they land. I hear Anya sometimes, her voice thin and weak, calling my name. I know it's not real. I know it's exhaustion, hunger, the cold playing tricks. But I hear it anyway. Yuri. I stop, turn, look back. There's nothing. Just ice. Just darkness. Just the groaning of the lake beneath us. Keep moving, Dmitri mutters, pulling at my sleeve. I heard. You didn't hear anything. But I did. I know I did. I start walking again, faster now, trying to outpace the voice, trying to outpace the thought that maybe Anya is already dead, that maybe I'm hearing her because she's gone. Because some part of me knows, even if the rest doesn't want to believe it. No. She's alive. She has to be alive. I gave her my ration. She'll make it another day, another week. Long enough for me to get back. Long enough for this convoy to deliver the bread that keeps the city breathing. I repeat this like a prayer. Like if I say it enough times, it becomes true. The ice shifts beneath us. A low groan, deep and resonant. Like something massive rolling over in its sleep. We all freeze. The kind of freeze that has nothing to do with cold. The kind that comes from prey animals sensing a predator. Don't move, the sergeant whispers. We don't. The groan stretches, builds, then stops. Silence. Okay, the sergeant says. Slow, spread out, don't bunch up. We move like we're walking on eggshells, each step careful, deliberate, testing the ice before committing weight. The trucks do the same, engines throttled down to a purr, treads barely turning. It takes forever to cross 100 meters. Maybe it takes seconds. Time is broken out here. When the ice finally stabilizes, when the groaning fades back into background noise, I realize I've been holding my breath. This lake wants us dead, Petrov mutters. Everything wants us dead, Dmitri replies. The lake's just honest about it. Komarov laughs, actually laughs. It's brief, sharp, almost manic. You know what's funny? Nothing's funny, Petrov says. No, listen. You know what's funny? We're out here protecting bread. Bread, not gold, not weapons, bread. And we're dying for it. Actually dying. How did we get here? The siege, I say quietly. No. Before that. How did we get to the point where bread is worth more than life? No one answers. Because the answer is too big, too complicated, too ugly. Because the answer involves politics and pride, and decisions made by men in warm rooms who've never been hungry, never been cold, never watched their city eat itself one frozen corpse at a time. We got here by forgetting, Dmitri says finally. Forgetting that the cost of war isn't just soldiers. It's everything, everyone. I look at him. His face is gaunt, eyes sunken, cheeks hollow. 9 months ago he was stocky, strong. Now he's a scarecrow. We all are. You think we'll remember? I ask. After this is over, you think we'll remember what we paid? If we survive, he says. Yeah, we'll remember. And if we don't? He meets my eyes. Then someone else will. Someone always does. The convoy moves on. One of the trucks starts making a grinding noise, something wrong with the axle or the treads or the driver's will to keep going. But it keeps moving, because stopping means staying. And staying means becoming another statistic, another frozen monument to futility. I think about Anya again. About the last time I saw her 3 days ago, lying on our couch wrapped in every blanket we own, shivering despite the layers. Her fever wouldn't break. Her skin was gray. Her eyes didn't focus right. And when I told her I had to go, had to report for duty, she just nodded. Didn't cry. Didn't beg me to stay. Just nodded. "Be careful," she said. "I will." "Promise?" I promised. I always promise. And I always lie. Because careful doesn't matter in Leningrad. Careful doesn't stop artillery. Careful doesn't stop starvation. Careful is just another word for lucky, and luck runs out eventually. But I promised anyway. Because that's what you do when someone you love asks you to survive. You lie. You tell them it'll be okay. You tell them you'll come back. And then you walk into the cold and hope the lie becomes truth through sheer force of will. "You got family?" Dmitri asks suddenly. The question catches me off guard. "Sister," I say. "Anya?" She's 14. "Parents?" "Dead. Shelling. October." He nods. Doesn't offer condolences. Condolences are currency we ran out of months ago. "I got a wife," he says. "Tatiana. She's in the city, working at the hospital. Or she was. Haven't heard from her in 3 weeks. 3 weeks isn't long. It is here." He's right. 3 weeks in Leningrad is an eternity. Anything could have happened. Shelling, starvation, disease. The silence between letters is louder than any scream. "She'll make it," I say. "You don't know that." "No, but I'm saying it anyway." He almost smiles. Almost. "Thanks." We walk in silence for a while. The wind picks up again, howling across the ice, carrying snow that stings like glass. My face is numb. My hands are numb. Everything below my ribs is numb. But my mind is sharp. Too sharp. Hunger does that. Strips away the padding, the comfortable fog that makes life bearable. Everything is edges now. Everything cuts. Ahead, the lid truck's brake lights flare red. The convoy slows, stops. "What now?" Petrov asks. The sergeant jogs forward, disappears around the truck. We wait. Seconds. Minutes. Time collapses again. When he comes back, his face is stone. "Checkpoint," he says. "Soviet. They're verifying cargo before we cross into the supply zone." "Why?" Komarov asks. "Because people are stealing." The words land like stones. No one speaks. Because we all know what stealing means, what it implies. That soldiers are taking bread, meant for civilians. That desperation has turned men into thieves. That the siege isn't just starving us. It's erasing the line between survival and savagery. "How much farther?" I ask. 2 miles to the checkpoint, 5 to the supply dump. Then we turn around. In the dark? Dawn's in 4 hours. We'll make it. No one believes him, but we follow anyway, because following is all we have left. The lake groans again, deeper this time, angrier. And somewhere in the darkness behind us, I hear it again. "Yuri." Anya's voice, calling. I don't turn around. I keep walking. Because if I turn around, if I look back, I might see something I can't unsee. And I need to believe she's still alive, even if the lake is trying to tell me otherwise. The checkpoint is worse than the ambush, not because of violence. There is no violence here. Just men. Soviet men. Our men. Standing beside oil drum fires, rifles slung, watching us approach with eyes that don't blink, don't soften, don't recognize us as brothers. They look at the trucks the way wolves look at wounded deer. There are maybe 20 of them. NKVD mostly, judging by the blue caps and the way they hold themselves. Internal security. The kind of soldiers who shoot deserters, who enforce orders, who make sure fear flows downhill. But they look hungry too. Hollow. Their uniforms hang loose. Their faces are shadows. The sergeant approaches their commander, a captain with a scar running from his left eye to his jaw. They speak quietly. Too quietly. I can't hear the words, but I can read the tension in their shoulders, the way the sergeant's hand drifts toward his sidearm, the way the captain's men shift their grips on their rifles. Something is wrong. I don't like this, Dmitri mutters beside me. Neither do I. They're supposed to be verifying cargo. Yeah. So why do they look like they're counting it? Before I can answer, the sergeant returns. His face is blank, the kind of blank that hides anger. They want to inspect the trucks, he says. That's standard, Komarov replies. They want to inspect thoroughly, every crate, every box. Why? The sergeant doesn't answer, just looks back at the captain, who's now walking toward the lead truck with 4 of his men. They move with purpose, hungry purpose. Because they're taking some, Petrov says quietly. Aren't they? The sergeant's jaw tightens. Regulations allow checkpoint commanders to requisition supplies for operational security. That's a fancy way of saying theft. That's a dangerous thing to say. But I'm right. The sergeant doesn't deny it. Just turns away, follows the captain to the trucks. We watch. There's nothing else to do. Watch as they pry open crates. Watch as they count loaves. Watch as they set aside every 5th crate, every 10th, stacking them in a pile beside the fires. The drivers protest. Quietly at first, then louder. The captain ignores them. His men keep working, methodical, efficient, practiced. This is wrong, Dmitri says. This is survival, I reply. There's a difference. Is there? He looks at me, really looks, and I see something in his eyes I haven't seen before. Disappointment. You really believe that? I don't know what I believe anymore. 9 months ago, I would have said this was wrong. Unforgivable. Soldiers stealing food meant for starving civilians. But 9 months ago, I wasn't starving. I wasn't watching my sister waste away. I wasn't out here on a frozen lake protecting bread like it was gold. 9 months ago, I was someone else. I believe we're all trying to survive, I say finally, by taking from people who can't fight back, by doing what we have to. And where does that end, Yuri? Where's the line? I don't answer, because I don't know. Because the line keeps moving, keeps blurring, keeps disappearing into the cold and the hunger and the endless grinding weight of the siege. The captain finishes his count. 20 crates, maybe more. He says something to the sergeant, who nods stiffly, face still blank. Then the captain waves us through, just like that. We're cleared. The trucks start moving again. Lighter now, faster, treads biting ice with less resistance, because there's less weight to carry. And behind us, the checkpoint soldiers gather around their newly acquired crates, prying them open, dividing the spoils. No one speaks as we pull away. What is there to say? We walk for another mile, maybe 2. The ice is smoother here, fewer cracks, fewer groans. The convoy makes good time. Too good. Like the lake is rewarding us for our compliance, for our silence, for our willingness to look the other way. That's when I see him. A man, civilian, standing alone on the ice, maybe 50 meters to our right. He shouldn't be here. No one should be here except the convoy, the escorts, the checkpoint guards. But there he is, just standing, facing us, not moving. You see that? Dmitri asks. Yeah. What's he doing out here? I don't know. The sergeant sees him too. Calls a halt. The truck's slow, engines idling. We approach cautiously, rifles ready, eyes scanning for ambush, for traps, for anything that explains why a civilian is standing on a frozen lake at night. As we get closer, I see details. He's old, 60, maybe 70, wearing a coat too thin for this cold, pants patched with mismatched fabric, boots wrapped in burlap. His face is skeletal, skin stretched tight over bone, eyes sunken so deep they're almost invisible. And he's holding something, a sign, cardboard, words scrawled in charcoal. Please, my family is starving. The sergeant stops 10 meters away. You need to leave, he calls out. The old man doesn't move, doesn't speak, just holds the sign higher. This is a military convoy. You're not authorized to be here. Still nothing. Sir, I'm ordering you to... I know what you did, the old man says. His voice is quiet, hoarse, but it carries. At the checkpoint, I followed. The sergeant's hand moves to his sidearm. You need to turn around. You took food meant for the city, for my family, for my grandchildren. That's not... How many crates? 20? 30? How many mouths could that feed? The silence that follows is heavier than artillery. I have my orders, the sergeant says finally. And I have my family, the old man replies. 3 grandchildren, 7, 5, and 2 years old. Their mother died last week. Starvation. Their father is in the army, maybe dead, maybe not. But I'm all they have. And they're starving. Do you understand? They're starving. We're all starving, Petrov says quietly. The old man turns to him. Then why do soldiers get rations and we get promises? Why do checkpoints steal and we die? No one answers. Because he's right. Because we all know he's right. Please, the old man says, lowering the sign. Just 1 crate, 1. I'll carry it myself. I'll walk back to the city. I won't tell anyone. Just, please. They're children. The sergeant looks at the trucks, at the remaining cargo, at us. I can't, he says. Can't or won't. Both. The old man's face crumples. Not with anger, with something worse. Acceptance. The kind that comes when you've already lost everything and you're just waiting for the rest to catch up. Then God have mercy on you, he whispers, because history won't. He turns, starts walking back toward the western shore. Slow, unsteady. Each step a struggle against wind and cold and the weight of futility. We watch him go. No one moves to stop him. No one moves to help him. We just watch. And when he's far enough away, when he's just another shadow on the ice, the sergeant gives the order. Move out. The trucks start rolling. We fall back into formation. Resume the march, the routine, the mission. But something's broken. I feel it in the way Dmitri won't look at me, in the way Komarov's shoulders slump, in the way Petrov keeps glancing back, like he's waiting for the old man to reappear, to accuse us again, to hold up a mirror we don't want to see. We should have given him something, Dmitri says after a long silence. We don't have authority, I reply. We have conscience. Conscience doesn't feed children. Neither does obedience. I want to argue, want to defend the decision, want to explain that we're just following orders, that the cargo isn't ours to distribute, that helping one man means failing the mission that feeds hundreds. But the words won't come, because Dmitri's right. We chose duty over humanity, orders over conscience, survival over compassion. And maybe that's necessary. Maybe that's what war demands. Maybe you can't fight if you stop to help every starving man you meet. But it doesn't feel like victory. It feels like drowning. The supply dump appears ahead. Lights, tents, activity. The halfway point. We're supposed to feel relief, supposed to feel accomplishment. But all I feel is cold and shame. And the certainty that somewhere behind us, an old man is walking home to tell 3 children that there's no food tonight. That the soldiers they're supposed to trust took it instead. That in Leningrad, even hope has rations, and some people don't get any. The supply dump is chaos wrapped in organization. Trucks everywhere, dozens of them, coming and going like ants on a hill, headlights cutting through darkness, engines roaring, drivers shouting coordinates and cargo counts and arrival times. There are soldiers here too, hundreds, unloading crates, loading empties, refueling, rearming. The whole operation runs on clockwork and desperation, everyone moving fast because fast means alive. Slow means target. We pull in. 4 trucks, battered, bleeding oil and coolant onto ice that's black with exhaust and spilled fuel. A logistics officer appears, clipboard in hand, already checking manifests before our engines stop. Unit 7-4? What's left of it? The sergeant says. The officer doesn't react, just marks something on his board. 4 trucks, expected 6. Cargo status? Compromised. Lost 2 trucks to enemy action, 1 to ice. Checkpoint requisition 20%. The officer's pen stops. 20%? Captain Volkov's checkpoint. He cited operational security. A pause. The officer's jaw tightens. Then the pen moves again. Noted. Proceed to unloading Bay 3. Turnaround time is 30 minutes. You'll be loaded with medical supplies and ammunition for the return trip. Medical supplies? Dmitri asks. Field hospitals are desperate. You're carrying morphine and bandages back. Also 300 kilograms of ammunition. Germans have been hitting the northern defenses hard. Wonderful, Petrov mutters. So if we get hit again, we explode. The officer ignores him. Bay 3, move! We move. The unloading goes fast. Too fast. Soldiers swarm the trucks, pull crates like they're ripping flesh from bone, stack them in designated zones marked with spray paint. Our job is to guard. Stand watch. Make sure no one steals what just got delivered. The irony isn't lost on me. Dmitri stands beside me, rifle across his chest, face blank. He hasn't spoken since the old man. None of us have. The silence is its own language now. 15 minutes, the sergeant calls out. We leave in 15. Eat if you have rations, piss if you need to. After that, no stops till we're back in the city. I pull out my ration. Half a piece of black bread, frozen solid. I bite into it anyway. It tastes like sawdust and despair, but it's calories, and calories are life. Dmitri doesn't eat, just stares at the horizon, at the darkness where the western shore waits. You should eat, I say. Not hungry? You're always hungry. Not anymore. I want to push, want to force him. But exhaustion weighs heavier than concern. The loading begins. Medical crates marked with red crosses, morphine, bandages, sulfa powder, then the ammunition. Box after box, rifle rounds, machine gun belts, grenades. Each crate stamped with warnings, each one a potential bomb. The trucks get loaded. Our convoy is now a rolling target. Valuable enough to chase, explosive enough to destroy everything within 50 meters if it gets hit right. Mount up, the sergeant shouts. We climb back into formation. 4 trucks, 12 men, the survivors, the guilty, the ones who chose orders over conscience and are now carrying the proof of that choice back across the ice. The engines start. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the world catches fire. The first shell hits the supply dump's eastern edge. I don't see it land. I see the flash, blinding white that turns night into noon for half a second. My pupils contract. Too late. Everything goes purple. Then the sound. Not a boom. A crack. Like reality splitting. Like God slamming a door. The shock wave hits a heartbeat later, slams into my chest, steals my breath, rattles my ribs. I'm on the ground. Don't remember falling. Just suddenly, I'm down. Face pressed into ice, ears ringing so loud I can't hear anything else. Vision swimming with afterimages and purple spots. Artillery! Someone screams. I don't hear the words. See them. Read them from the shape of his mouth. The second shell hits closer. 50 meters. Maybe less. The explosion lifts a truck, not ours, someone else's, and flips it sideways like a child's toy. Slow motion. The vehicle rotating through air, cargo bay doors flapping open, crates tumbling out like vomit. It lands on its roof with a crunch that I feel through the ice. Fuel ignites. Orange flames bloom against black sky. Men scatter, some on fire. Human torches running, screaming, falling, rolling. Others trying to help, ripping off coats, smothering flames, failing. I roll, get to my knees. My rifle is gone. Where? There, 3 meters away. I crawl, fingers numb, mind blank, survival mode, animal mode. The ice beneath me vibrates with each impact, each shell, the bombardment finding its rhythm now. Walking pattern, methodical, professional. The third shell hits the fuel depot. The explosion is biblical. A fireball 50 meters wide, mushrooming upward, petals of flame unfurling like some hellish flower. Heat so intense, I feel my face blister from 100 meters away. The air itself burns. My lungs seize, can't breathe, can't think. The shock wave is a physical thing, a fist, a wall. It picks me up and throws me backwards. I land hard. Something cracks in my shoulder. Pain, sharp, but distant. Adrenaline is a hell of a drug. When I can see again, the fuel depot is gone. Just gone. In its place, a crater. Black. Smoking. Burning fuel spreading across the ice like blood from a wound. And the ice itself is melting. Bubbling. Water mixing with fire mixing with chemicals I can't name. Men are dying. Everywhere. I see a soldier crawling, both legs bent wrong. He's leaving a red trail behind him, freezing as it spreads. Another man just sits, staring at where his arm used to be. The limb is 5 meters away, still wearing its sleeve. A third is face down, not moving, will never move again. Move, move, move. The sergeant is screaming, waving, trying to get the convoy out, away, anywhere but here. The trucks lurch forward, drivers panicking. One clips a burning wreck, swerves too hard, almost tips. The vehicle rocks on 2 wheels for an impossible second. Then crashes back down, another guns it too hard, treads lose grip on ice slick with fuel and blood and meltwater, fishtails wildly before straightening out. I'm running, don't remember standing, just running. Toward the trucks, toward something, away from the fire, the screaming, the smell of burning meat. The shells keep coming. 4, 5, 6, 7. Walking barrage, marching across the supply dump like boots stomping ants. Every impact throws bodies. Crates, fire, ice, metal. Everything becomes shrapnel. A shell lands between 2 tents. The tents vanish, atomized. The men inside don't even scream. They just stop existing. 1 second they're there. Next second there's only mist. Red mist that freezes in the air and falls like snow. I reach our truck, grab the running board, pull myself up. My hands are bleeding. Don't know when that happened. Dmitri is already there. So is Komarov. Petrov is running behind us, coat on fire, slapping at the flames with his bare hands. His palms are smoking. "Get in!" The driver screams. His face is cut. Glass embedded in his cheek, blood running down his neck. We get in. I grab Petrov's coat, yank it off him, throw it out onto the ice. He's got burns. Bad ones. Skin peeling off his hands like wet paper. He doesn't seem to notice. Just climbs in, sits, stares at nothing. The truck accelerates. Hard. I'm thrown back, slam into ammunition crates, feel something crack deep in my ribs. Pain. Sharp, white hot, but distant. Adrenaline is one hell of a drug. Behind us, the supply dump is hell. Fire everywhere, bodies everywhere, trucks exploding, fuel burning, screaming never stops. And still the shells come. Methodical, patient, professional. Killing everything, everyone. Erasing the dump one explosion at a time. A shell hits a medical tent. The red cross painted on canvas means nothing to physics or to German gunners. The tent collapses, explodes. Canvas and flesh mixing in a cloud of red mist that freezes in the frigid air and falls like snow. Incoming left, I look. See the muzzle flash, distant, faint. See the shell arc. It's coming right at us. Physics, ballistics, death traveling at 300 meters per second. Brace! The driver swerves. Hard right. The shell hits ice where we were 3 seconds ago. The explosion lifts the back end of the truck, slams it down sideways. We skid, spin. The world becomes a carousel. Crates slide, crash into walls, into us. Men slam into each other. I grip a cargo strap, hold on, pray to gods I abandoned months ago. The truck straightens. Somehow, the driver fights the wheel, overcorrects, corrects again. We're moving, away from the dump, onto the lake, back toward the western shore, toward home, toward whatever's left. But the shells follow. They're targeting the convoy now. All 4 trucks, spotters somewhere, maybe on the shore. Maybe in planes circling too high to see, too high to hear. I don't know. Don't care. All that matters is the whistle. The high-pitched shriek that means incoming, means duck, means prey. 12 o'clock. Shell lands ahead. Ice explodes upward in chunks the size of men. Shrapnel screams past. Metal fragments, rock, frozen water. The truck swerves right. Too hard. The back end slides. We're sideways now. Broadside to the enemy. Perfect target. Beautiful target. Straighten out. The driver tries, overcorrects. We swerve left, hit a pressure ridge. The front end lifts. For one terrible second, we're airborne. 2 wheels off the ice. Time stops. I see Dmitri's face. Eyes wide, mouth open. This is it. This is how we die. Flipped, crushed, drowned. Then gravity wins. We crash down, hard. Something underneath snaps. The steering, maybe. The axle. Something important. The truck pulls hard right now, fighting the drivers every meter. We're hit, not artillery. Machine gun fire. I hear it now. Different sound. Sharper. Faster. Tracer rounds stitching across our path. Red lines in the darkness. Beautiful. Deadly. The Germans aren't just shelling. They're hunting. And then I see them. Lights on the northern horizon. Moving fast. Parallel to us. Closing distance. Half tracks. Komarov screams. His voice cracks. Fear. Raw. Undisguised. Not again. Please, not again. But yes, again. 3 of them. Maybe the same ones from before. Maybe different. Doesn't matter. They're faster than us. Fresher. Better maintained. And we're wounded. Overloaded. Running on fumes and fear and the fading hope that there's still a city to return to. The machine guns open up. Sustained fire. The sound is a continuous roar, a chainsaw cutting through reality. Rounds punch through the truck's side panels, through cargo, through air where men's heads were a second ago. Metal screams, canvas shreds, wood splinters. Someone screams, high, piercing, cut off. I don't know who. Can't look, can't stop. Just press myself flat against the floor, make myself small, prey to physics and probability and whatever else might save me. The truck behind us explodes. Not from shells, from the ammunition it's carrying. One lucky shot, one spark, one round hitting just right, and it goes up like a bomb. The fireball engulfs everything. The truck, the men inside, the ice beneath. When the light fades, there's just a crater. Steam, silence, and pieces. Don't think about the pieces. 3 trucks now. We return fire. Komarov at the back of the truck, rifle up, firing methodically. Bolt, breathe, aim, fire. Bolt, breathe, aim, fire. Machine precision. Dmitri beside him. I crawl over, grab my rifle, join them. We shoot at shapes, at muzzle flashes, at darkness, at hope. Most shots miss. Physics, distance, moving targets. But some might hit, some have to. Law of large numbers. Fire enough bullets and eventually one finds flesh. A tracer round cuts between Dmitri and me. So close I feel the heat, feel the displacement, feel the space where my head would have been if I'd leaned left instead of right. Dmitri doesn't flinch, just keeps firing. Bolt, aim, fire, bolt, aim, fire, mechanical, precise, empty. Another shell. This one lands beside the lead truck. The explosion flips it completely. It rolls, once, twice. Comes to rest upside down. Cargo everywhere. Men crawling out. Some moving, some not. 2 trucks. The half-tracks are closing. 100 meters, 80, 60. The machine gun fire intensifies. Our truck shudders, metal screaming, glass shattering. The driver slumps. The sergeant grabs the wheel from beside him, keeps us moving, but we're slowing. Something's wrong. Engine, treads, everything. We can't outrun them. Then we fight. Fight with what? Rifles against armor? Desperation against diesel? But we fight anyway. Komarov stands, fully stands, in the open, in the fire, and throws something, a grenade. Where did he get a grenade? Doesn't matter. He throws it. Perfect arc. It lands beneath the lead half-track. The explosion is small, compared to artillery, compared to the burning supply dump, but it's enough. The half-track's front left tread snaps. The vehicle lurches, slews sideways, grinds to a halt. Komarov doesn't celebrate, just drops back down, reloads, keeps firing. The other half-tracks spread out, flanking, one north, one south, trying to box us in. The machine guns never stop, never pause, just continuous fire, endless fire, fire that turns the ice to mist and blood to steam. A round hits Petrov. Center mass, he grunts, falls, doesn't get up. Petrov! I crawl to him, roll him over. His chest is open, not bleeding, steaming. The cold freezes blood before it can flow. His eyes are wide, surprised. He starts, then nothing. I close his eyes. Don't know why. Reflex, respect, denial. Yuri, move! I move, just in time. A burst rakes where I was, punches through the floor, through ammunition crates, sparks fly. I smell smoke. Chemical. Wrong. Fire in the cargo? No. We're carrying ammunition, medical supplies, morphine, and now there's fire. The sergeant makes a decision, slams the brakes. The truck skids, stops. Abandon vehicle, now! We bail, jump, hit ice hard, roll, get up, run. The truck is behind us now. Burning, the half-tracks closing in. And we're exposed. Open ice, no cover. Just 5 men and rifles and the certainty that this is where it ends. But the truck buys us seconds. The half-tracks focus on it, pour fire into it, and the ammunition inside starts cooking off. Rounds popping, crates exploding. The whole truck becoming a firework. We use the chaos. Spread out. Find pressure ridges, ice chunks, anything that breaks line of sight. And we shoot, all of us, every round we have, not aimed, just volume, saturation, hope. One half track stops, engine smoking, hit something vital, maybe. The other keeps coming, and then I hear it, the whistle. High, sharp, close. I look up, see the shell, arcing, falling, right at us. Down. The world goes white. I wake up. Don't remember blacking out. Don't remember the shell landing, just a gap. A blank space where time used to be. 1 second I'm watching death fall from the sky. Next second I'm flat on my back, staring up at stars that shouldn't be visible through the smoke. My ears aren't working right. Everything sounds like I'm underwater. Muffled, distant, wrong. I try to move. My body doesn't respond immediately. Then, all at once it does. I roll onto my side, push myself up. The ice beneath me is cracked, spiderwebs radiating out from a crater 5 meters away. The shell landed, exploded, and somehow I'm still here. I look around. Shapes moving in the darkness. Men, some standing, some crawling, some not moving at all. Dmitri? My voice sounds strange, flat, like it belongs to someone else. No answer. I stand, my legs shake. Not from fear, from exhaustion, from the simple act of being alive when everything just tried to kill me. I take a step, then another. The world tilts, but I stay upright. The truck is gone. Not destroyed, just gone. Driven away or swallowed by the lake or vanished into smoke. I don't know, don't care. What matters is the absence. The hole where it used to be. Bodies on the ice. 3 of them. No, 4. One is moving, crawling, leaving a dark trail behind. I walk toward the nearest one. It's the sergeant. Half his face is gone. The other half looks surprised. Like death caught him mid-thought and he never finished the sentence. I keep walking. Find Komarov next. He's sitting, back against a pressure ridge. Rifle across his lap, eyes open, staring at nothing. For a second I think he's dead. Then he blinks. You okay? I ask. He doesn't answer. Just keeps staring. I keep searching. Find the driver. He made it out of the truck before it left. Or maybe he was thrown. Hard to tell. He's unconscious but breathing. Shallow, wet. Probably internal bleeding. Probably dying. Probably already dead and his body hasn't realized yet. Dmitri! I shout, or try to. My voice cracks. Comes out as a whisper. Movement to my left. I turn. See him. 20 meters away. Standing, swaying slightly. But standing. Relief hits me like a physical thing. I didn't realize how much I needed to see him alive until I did. I walk over. He's staring at the crater, at the place where the shell landed, at the mathematics of survival. 3 meters to the left and we'd be dead. 3 meters to the right and we'd be dead. But we're here, in this impossible pocket of not dead. We made it, he says quietly. Yeah. How? I don't have an answer. Luck, chance, the arbitrary cruelty of physics. Take your pick. The truck's gone, I say. I know. The convoy's gone. I know. We're alone out here. He finally looks at me. His eyes are empty, not dead. Worse, alive but hollow. We've always been alone. The wind picks up, carries the smell of smoke and cordite and something sweet that makes my stomach turn. In the distance, maybe a kilometer away, I see lights. The remaining trucks, or what's left of them, moving west, toward the city, toward home, leaving us behind. Standard procedure. Can't stop for stragglers. Can't risk the mission for 5 men on foot. I understand the logic. hate it, but understand it. Can you walk? I ask Dmitri. Yes. Then we walk. Komarov stands without being asked. The driver doesn't. We try to lift him, get him on his feet. He screams, a wet, gurgling sound. We lay him back down, gently, like it matters. We can't carry him, Dmitri says. I know. We have to leave him. I know. The driver opens his eyes, looks at me, understands, nods slightly. Permission, absolution. I don't deserve either. I take his rifle, his ammunition, his coat. He won't need them. We will. Then we start walking. 4 of us. Dmitri, Komarov, me, and one other whose name I never learned. We walk west, toward lights that might be the city, might be death, might be nothing. The ice groans beneath us, complaining, warning. We spread out. Don't bunch up. If one falls through, maybe the others survive. My legs are numb. My hands are numb. Everything below my neck is numb. But I keep walking. 1 foot, then the other. Then the first again. Simple. Mechanical. The only math that matters. Dmitri walks beside me. Silent. Face blank. Somewhere in the last hour, something broke in him. I can see it in the way he moves. Automatic. Empty. Like a machine that forgot why it's running but keeps going anyway. You still with me? I ask. Where else would I be? I don't know. Somewhere warmer. He almost smiles. Almost. There is no somewhere warmer. He's right. The cold is everywhere. Inside, outside. Part of us now. We're not men anymore. We're ice that learned to walk. We pass the old man's sign, the one from the checkpoint. It's frozen to the ice now. Please. My family is starving. The cardboard is stiff, brittle, empty. I wonder if he made it home, if his grandchildren are still alive, if they're waiting for bread that will never come because we failed, because 20 crates got stolen, because a convoy got destroyed, because everything we tried to protect is scattered across a frozen lake or burning in a supply dump or locked in German bunkers. I wonder if it matters. Dmitri stops. I stop beside him. What? I ask. He points. Ahead, on the ice. Something dark. Something that doesn't belong. We approach carefully, rifles ready, expecting ambush, expecting bodies, expecting anything. It's bread, a crate, split open. Loaves scattered across the ice like offerings, from one of the destroyed trucks. Cargo spilled, abandoned. We stare at it. 4 starving men, looking at food, the thing we fought for, bled for, the thing 12 men died protecting, and none of us move. Take it, Komarov says quietly. It's not ours. The other man replies. It's not anyone's. Not anymore. It's meant for the city. The city's 20 kilometers away. This bread will freeze solid before we get there. We'll be worthless. But right now, right here, it could keep us alive. Silence. The wind howls. The ice groans. And we stand there, faced with a choice that shouldn't be a choice. I think about Anya, about her lying in our apartment, starving, waiting for rations that might not come, waiting for a brother who might not return. I think about the old man, about his grandchildren, about 3,000 grams that could save them. I think about the men who died, the lieutenant with the clean coat, Petrov with a hole in his chest, the 3 who drowned when the ice broke. They died for this bread, and I'm standing here wondering if I have the right to eat it. We take 1 loaf, I say finally. 1. We split it, 4 ways. That's our ration. The rest we leave. For who? The other man asks. There's no one here. For whoever comes after. For the scavengers. For the starving. For anyone but us. It's stupid. Irrational. The bread will freeze, will be inedible, We'll feed no one. But taking more feels like theft, like betraying the men who died, like becoming the thing I saw at the checkpoint. Dmitri picks up one loaf, breaks it into quarters, hands them out. We eat in silence. The bread is frozen, hurts my teeth, tastes like ash. But it's calories, and calories are life. We leave the rest, turn away, keep walking. And I realize something. An epiphany born from cold and hunger and the weight of too many choices. We didn't lose this battle because of the Germans. We lost it the moment we started measuring life in rations. The moment bread became more valuable than people. The moment we accepted that survival means choosing who starves. The siege isn't killing us with bullets. It's killing us with decisions, with the slow erosion of everything that makes us human. And the worst part? We're helping. Every checkpoint that steals, every convoy that leaves men behind, every choice between orders and conscience. We're doing the Germans' work for them. Hunger doesn't just eat the body, it eats the soul, and I don't know how to stop it. The city appears on the horizon, distant, dark, a cluster of shapes against darker sky. Home. If home is a place where people are dying in their sleep, where children forget what food tastes like, where hope is rationed and guilt is free. We walk toward it anyway, because there's nowhere else to go, and because Anya is there. And I promised I'd come back, even if the man who returns isn't the man who left. We reach the city as dawn breaks, not sunrise. Dawn. There's a difference. Sunrise implies light, warmth, hope. Dawn is just the absence of night. Gray replacing black, cold replacing colder. The western shore rises ahead of us. Ice giving way to frozen mud, mud giving way to snow, snow giving way to ruins. Buildings with walls missing, streets cratered, everything skeletal, everything dying slowly. We climb off the lake. My legs nearly give out. Solid ground feels wrong after hours on ice. Too stable, too permanent. I stumble. Dmitri catches me. We stand there for a moment, two scarecrows holding each other up. Then we keep moving. The checkpoint is abandoned. The guards who stole 20 crates are gone. Maybe rotated out. Maybe dead. Maybe they took their stolen bread and disappeared into the city's frozen veins. I don't care enough to wonder. We pass through without speaking. No one stops us. No one asks questions. 4 men returning from a convoy that no longer exists. Ghosts walking through a city of ghosts. The streets are empty. Too early for the bread lines. Too cold for anything but desperation. But I see them anyway. The signs of life. Smoke from a chimney. A shadow moving behind a broken window. A child's mitten frozen to a fence. Leningrad is still breathing. Barely. Wetly. Like a dying man who refuses to admit he's dying. Komarov splits off at Moskovsky Prospect. Doesn't say goodbye. Just nods and disappears down a side street, heading home. To what? To who? I don't ask. He doesn't offer. The unnamed soldier leaves at Nevsky. One moment he's there, next moment he's not, like he was never real. Just a shape I imagined to make the walk less lonely. Now it's just Dmitri and me. Where do you live? I ask. Vasilyevsky Island. That's far. Everything's far. He's right. Distance isn't measured in meters anymore. It's measured in energy, in calories, in the cost of moving when your body has nothing left to burn. You going to make it? I ask. He looks at me, really looks, and I see it. The same thing I feel. The exhaustion that goes beyond physical. The kind that settles in your bones and whispers that stopping would be easier than continuing. I don't know, he says honestly. Are you? I have to. Anya's waiting. Tatiana might be waiting, or she might not. I haven't heard from her in 3 weeks. 3 weeks isn't... I know what 3 weeks is. He cuts me off. Not angry, just tired. I know what it means. I know the odds. But I have to check. I have to see. I nod. Understand completely. Hope is the cruelest ration. Never enough. But you can't stop consuming it. Good luck, I say. You too. We shake hands. His grip is weak. Mine probably is too. Then he turns north, toward the Neva, toward Vasilyevsky Island, toward whatever's waiting. I turn east, toward home. The walk takes forever. My apartment is only 2 kilometers from the shore. Might as well be 200. Each step costs more than the last. My vision tunnels. My breathing turns ragged. The quarter loaf of bread I ate is gone. Burned. Used up keeping me warm for the last hour. I pass bodies. 3 of them. Frozen on the sidewalk where they fell. No one has moved them. No one will. Not until spring. Not until the thaw. They're just part of the landscape now. Furniture. Architecture. Memorials to a city eating itself. I reach my building. 5 stories. Built in 1890. Beautiful ones. Now it's just a shell. Windows broken. Walls scarred with shrapnel. But standing. Still standing. I climb the stairs. Each flight is a mountain. My legs scream. My lungs burn. But I climb. Because Anya is on the 4th floor. Because I promised. The door to our apartment is unlocked. I push it open. The cold inside is worse than outside. No fire, no heat. Just frozen air that tastes like mold and despair. Anya? No answer. I walk through the main room. See our furniture covered in frost. See our books frozen to the shelves. See the couch where I left her 3 days ago. She's not there. Panic hits. Cold, sharp. I check the bedroom, the kitchen, the bathroom. Empty. All empty. Anya! I'm shouting now, running, tearing through the apartment like a madman. She has to be here. She was too weak to leave, too sick. Where is she? And then I see it. On the table. A note, written in shaky handwriting, hers. Yuri, they came for me. Hospital, Ward 7. Don't worry, I'm okay. Come when you can. A. I read it 3 times, 4 times, trying to extract meaning beyond the words. Trying to understand if okay means okay, or if it's a lie she's telling me because she's too kind to write dying. I should go to the hospital. Right now, immediately. Find her, see her, make sure she's alive. But my legs won't move. I've used everything. Burned through every reserve. There's nothing left. I collapse into a chair. The same chair I sat in 3 days ago. Before the convoy. Before the lake. Before I learned that survival tastes like ash. I'll go to the hospital. In an hour. After I rest. After I catch my breath. After I find the strength to face whatever Ward 7 means. But for now I just sit. In a frozen apartment. In a dying city. Staring at a note from my sister. And I think about the convoy. About the men who died. About the bread we protected and the bread we left behind. About the old man with his sign. About Dmitri walking toward an answer he's terrified to find. About Petrov's surprised eyes. About the sergeant's half-face. I think about the choice at the checkpoint. About duty versus conscience. About the slow erosion of everything that made us human. And I wonder if we won. The bread made it to the city. Some of it. Maybe. Enough to keep a few hundred people alive for 1 more day. 1 more ration, 1 more tomorrow. But at what cost? 12 men dead, maybe more. A convoy destroyed. Supplies lost. And 4 survivors who aren't quite sure why they survived or if survival was worth the price. The siege continues. Day 900 and whatever. I've lost count. The calendar doesn't matter when every day is the same. Cold, hunger, death. Repeat. Leningrad still stands. Barely. We still fight. Barely. We still hope. Barely. And barely is enough. For now. I look at the note again. Anya's handwriting. Shaky but legible. Alive. She's alive. That's something. That's everything. I stand, slowly, pain shooting through my legs, my ribs, my shoulder. I'm 23 years old, and I move like I'm 70. That's what 9 months of starvation does. Ages you, hollows you out, turns you into something that used to be human. But I stand anyway. Because Anya is waiting, and because standing is the only victory I have left. I walk to the door, step into the hallway, start down the stairs. One step, then another, then another. Outside, the city waits. Frozen, starving, dying, but not dead. Not yet. And as long as it's not dead, as long as there's one more day, one more ration, one more breath, we endure, we survive, we remember. In Leningrad, hope learned to starve, but it never learned to die.